Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 3-6 emotional 6.5 day sequence, and we're going to talk about day 5. Now, as always, we start out with the polarity moments or the electromagnetics here. This is the unseen pattern of chaos, and we call it that because as these patterns agitate, so 4 is the number we tell our viewers to be cautious of. If any of these graphs go above a 4, what's happening is this. Your defensive nature is being activated, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You see, we're in a sentient space-time reality. We're emotional beings, and we're supposed to be able to work through our emotions in positive ways, but here's the challenge. We're designed to be defensive, which means we're designed to make mistakes. We're either going to run away from our problems or we're going to stand up and fight for them in ways that make more stress. That's the fight or flight system that's hardwired to all our bodies. And what we're doing is we're making sure that you know when this pattern is going to cause agitation. Now, day 5, this is a day we need to talk about. We've been talking about this in the previous forecasts, how things have been pretty calm and that this sequence was going to start to stir up here at the end and get a little spicy, and spiciness is about to start. So what's really going to amp up here is third person agitation. So what's the difference between third and first person agitation? Well, first person agitation are all the people you deal with on a day-to-day basis, your family, the people you work with, the community members. Third person, that's the bigger picture. Those are your philosophical beliefs. And what you're going to see on the news happen here is you're going to see a lot of things go down in the bigger picture, and people are going to really get invested in that. Oh, it's predicted. This is going to happen if you pay attention. And when it does happen, the last thing you want to do is get into arguments about it or get upset about it and make anything worse in your general sphere of people. Okay. So, super, super important. So, day 5 here, we're back to red alert. And you can see that it's not going to get any calmer here. It's going to stay elevated and it's going to go on here for a couple days. Now, what's happening is this some really strong frequencies, some mental and some emotional frequencies are about to switch directions. And when they do that, they really agitate the mental and emotional rhythms of everybody on this earth. And that's actually what animates us and makes us make mistakes. Now, mistakes are how we learn. And that's also, unfortunately, how it's been here. Now, we're trying to help you understand this so you can minimize your mistakes. Why? Your mistakes are causing you stress. And stress is accelerating your aging process. And it's also ensuring, as that stress accumulates, that you're going to have future states of disease. So, those are two really good reasons why you want to pay attention. And in order to do this, you got to know when this stuff is happening because this uses our feelings. Remember, we're in a sentient space time reality and it's using our feelings to manipulate us, it's using our feelings against us. Now, it's important to work through your feelings, but you definitely don't want to work through your feelings in negative ways, and that would be defensive. All right, that's enough about what's going on here. We know day 5 is going to be the start of a challenging about week and a half here, okay? Because when this sequence ends, I promise you it's going to stay elevated. This is going to get tough for us, no doubt about it. All right, so let's get down here and let's talk about what these polarity moments are trying to stop us from doing. You see, the sentient space-time reality is all about this interconnected family. And if you think about it, that's all this world is. It's just a bunch of families, and we're supposed to be interconnected and working together. And the problem is we've disconnected. Why? Again, our defensive nature. None of our families understand what this objective is, and it's obvious because what we've been doing here is we've been over-investing our families in our own individual and family strategies, okay? And if we have a bunch of families that aren't working together and they're competing with one another, what that does is that's what's creating all the division and all the chaos that we're seeing in the larger picture. Now, why is it important to understand this construct? Because this is the only reason we exist. We would not exist if it wasn't for the patterns that create our sentient space-time experience. And we're designed to make mistakes so that we would eventually learn. And now that we've learned what the pattern is and we learned what we're supposed to be doing here, it's pretty easy to understand how you slow aging, how you stop disease, and how we start to correct all of these imbalances that are plaguing our earth right now. Now, to do that, it's this simple. Commit to your team. Make sure that you're trying to get along with every member of the team. The sons and the daughters, those are the teammates that are starting to realize or starting to understand what they're going to contribute to the overall team and how they're eventually going to become the leadership. That's what a mother and father is. It's just a leader of a team. And they're trying to help direct this team, keep this team together, help the teammates work through their stress, keep them cooperating, and keep them focused on having balanced routines. Now, nobody's been doing this, so don't feel bad. We're all going to have to step up our game here. When you change your routine and you start to equally divide your time and you make sure that you're going to invest in strategies that's going to help every family, help every individual, and help all nations, we are going to have a peaceful and prosperous world. And what you're going to receive as an individual is a very balanced body. Why? If you don't balance with these frequencies, they're the governing frequencies of the space-time experience. And if you're out of balance with them, they will interact with you in a way that will cause destructive interference. That's what causes injury. That's what causes aging. That's what causes future states of disease. If you do all these things and you commit to the team and you balance out your routine and you make sure that you leave this earth a better place for the future generations, then you'll be in perfect harmony with these frequencies. It will slow the aging process. You will be able to stop states of disease and reverse them, but the only way you can do that is through consistent effort. That's why it's so important. Now, we're telling you this because there's no other way. This is the math. This is the construct. We're born into it. We didn't know. Okay, let's get over that. Now that we do know, now we know what we got to do here. All right, it's that simple. So that's the objective. That's why it's so important knowing what this is. And that's why we show you these polarity moments, because this is the first thing that's been tripping us up. Once we stop reacting, once we stop our emotions from stopping us from getting along with every member of our team and to work together to create this balanced reality, well, then we win. It gets better for all of us. It's the only way this works. All right, so let's get down here and talk about this 24-hour period. Now, what we do here is we really zoom in day 5, and we do this so that you can see exactly where the peaks are going to come up in the electromagnetics today. What's going to happen in first person, what's going to happen in third person, and what's going to happen in the combined. And these time fields up here, well, they're associated with all 24 time zone offsets. So we do this for people that don't have good internet. So if you don't have good internet all day long, you come down here, you sort through this, you find your time zone offset. This holds for 10 seconds. You snap a picture on your cell phone, and now you have it all day long. If you've got good internet all day long, you go to our homepage, healthreconnected.com. We've got a live feed. It's set to universal time. You literally open it up and it has a time bar that runs right through this sequence. You'll know exactly where you are. Open it up. I promise you. I do it all the time. If I'm feeling defensive, if I see people getting defensive, I'll reference this and lo and behold, it'll be at a peak. That's how this works. We're being manipulated. It is a challenge. This is a game. Think of it that way. We're in a video game. That's a good way to explain this. Now, once you understand the rules of the game, once you understand what the game is trying to do, and once you understand the objective of the game, it becomes very easy to achieve that objective. Until you realize this, though, this is a very deceiving pattern because it messes again with how we feel. All right, that's enough about that. Now, we already talked about how incredibly red alert this is going to be because of this increased agitation, both at the mental and at the emotional levels. So, in the past, when we've done these predictions, when mental and emotional polarities flip at the same time, that's when we see unfortunate events like mass shootings happen. In space-time reality, everything is proportional, everything is connected. So when we really start to get out of balance and we start to act aggressive and we start to act defensive and we start to fight with one another, that actually amplifies the weather patterns. Pay attention, you'll see what I'm talking about here. The next 3 or 4 days, you're definitely going to notice that weather patterns are going to increase and tragedies are going to go up. And that's just what this pattern's doing. It is the organized pattern of chaos. All right. So red alert, everybody's got to be on their A game. Here's the good news on the day. We don't have a lot of alignments. Okay, so we just have one alignment we're going to talk about here. Alignments are when two frequencies or when two hands of the clock align, frequencies amplify. And what they're doing is they're testing us on specific things. In a blue alignment, that has to do with how we get along with our teammates. This alignment's all about improving how you interact with the younger members of the team. Okay, so alignments are done. That's pretty easy stuff. Let's get down here now. We're going to talk about testing sequence. So just like we talk about 4 for the electromagnetics, and we get concerned with that, if we get more than 4 frequencies in a quadrant at a time, then that's a heavy load. And you should know about that. And you can see upper left is really going to get tested. We're above a 4 most of the sequence. Upper right for the first 12 hours is at that 4, and then it drops off. Lower left does the opposite. Below a 4, in the last half, it comes up above a 4. Same thing here in the right lower. Okay, so pretty balanced. There's some up and down movements. Now, it's nice to know this because if you ever wondered why the pattern in your body, the stiffness, the tightness, the pain in your body shifts around, this will tell you why. So if you feel it in your right upper shoulder in the first 12 hours and then it seems like it gets better, but you feel your left a little bit more in the second 12 hours, well, this is telling you why that's happening. And now these are all the frequencies that are going to come in the 24 hours. What these graphs over here are the 10 strongest. So these 10 strongest frequencies, they're kind of unique because they just sit in one spot. These are moving up and down and all around, okay? These are going to kind of just sit there. And what we've done is we've made this really simple for you. So the first person perspective, this is how you get along with teammates. So for example, you can see it's loaded pretty heavy here on the right side. So if you have a right-sided pain or right-sided dysfunction in this next 24-hour period, well, then you've got problems getting along with teammates. And it's both the mature members of the team and immature members of the team. Now, when we look at this, we can see there's an imbalance, but it's all stacked up here on this top left side. So if you have left-sided problems, what this means is you're having problems balancing your routines. You see, we're expected to balance our routines on a day-to-day basis, and these are the toughest routines to make sure you're balancing. This is national and world perspective. And a lot of people, they neglect those. They spend too much time worrying about themselves and worrying about their families. And those strategies, a lot of times, are putting a lot of stress on the bigger picture, meaning we're not thinking about how to conserve energy. We're not thinking about how to conserve our resources. We're not thinking what we have to do in order to help climate and help our environment get better. That's what this stuff is here. And people have just kind of lost track of that. And you can tell because, well, look around us. All right. So that's a pretty good idea of what you can expect in this next 24 hours. The last thing we're going to discuss just briefly, we've got the rest of the electromagnetics posted for you for the whole year here. So the rest of 2024 is already posted. We do this, so now there's no mystery. You've got no excuses. You shouldn't be arguing, you shouldn't be fighting, you shouldn't be running away from your problems. And what you really need to do is figure out how to work through that stress, how to create cooperative strategies. That's how you get better. That's how you help the people around you get better. That's how we make everything better. All right, let's end on that. We'll talk to you in the next 24 hours.